Thousands of people abandon everything for this substance: families, homes, dignity, even their own lives. Yet fentanyl is nothing more than a cheaper, deadlier version of heroin. It is worse in every way, except one: it's a perfect product for dealers who distribute it. The most tragic irony is that many victims aren't even seeking fentanyl. They never intended to take it. It might be, quite literally, the dumbest drug to lose your life over. Today we're going to explore what fentanyl really does to your body, what sensations it evokes, and why it's infinitely more miserable than heroin. Human survival is shaped by two primordial forces: pain and pleasure. These experiences define how we respond to the world and ensure our survival. Pain is perhaps the strongest physical experience we can endure. It's the body's most urgent signal. Danger, stop. Imagine a claw tearing flesh, a bone shattering. Pain is primal and unavoidable. Pain isn't only physical. Emotional suffering can be even more devastating, tearing at the soul. That scream inside you is your body demanding attention. Pleasure, in contrast, makes life worthwhile. Pleasure whispers, "Do it again. It felt good." The sweetness of chocolate, the intimacy of love, laughter shared with friends. These urges shape our behaviors. They evolve us, guiding us towards survival and procreation. Pain warns us of danger. Pleasure rewards us for thriving. Yet there are times when our bodies need to suppress pain while enhancing pleasure. Nature provides such moments: childbirth, extreme exertion, overwhelming fear. After childbirth, hormones flood the mother, dulling pain and forming immediate bond with the newborn. During intense physical duress, adrenaline can overshadow pain, allowing survival-driven focus. To achieve this, nature devised a powerful receptor in our nervous system, the opioid receptor. Picture a lock on neurons that control pain and reward. When opened, it reduces pain and ushers in pleasure. Any molecule that can open this lock acts as an opioid. Natural body opioids, endorphins, are released very locally and in tiny amounts when needed. They soften pain, lift mood, and bring joy in just the right doses. But humans discovered stronger opioids in nature, like morphine from poppies, and escalated from there. This led to a family of drugs: codeine, Vicodin, OxyContin, heroin, and fentanyl. Fentanyl stands apart as the most potent and cruel of all. To understand why, let's imagine the effect of injecting heroin the first time. The drug floods your bloodstream, reaching your brain in seconds. Every opioid receptor awakens. Pleasure circuits switch on in unison, a chemical onslaught. Your body becomes drenched in bliss. Stress and pain vanish. The brain enters a state of perfect calm. Small stimuli, coffee, music, conversation, become sources of intense delight. You feel floating on love, brimming with connection, free from suffering. For a few hours, you taste paradise. Your heart slows, your breathing deepens, your gut settles. Everything you once feared feels distant and irrelevant. This is why opioids can be incredibly dangerous. The experience is too overwhelming, too far beyond natural pleasure. And therein lies the initial trap. The brain isn't wired for such chemical extensive joy. Nothing in everyday life compares to that first high. Your brain's reward system is rewired, forever measuring life against that moment. And yet, that moment fades, and nothing else ever seems as bright. You chase it. Meanwhile, you return to ordinary life: aches, chores, responsibilities. Coffee tastes normal. Music is just music. You notice the contrast, and longing sets in. This contrast is the thief of joy. After repeated opioid use, your brain's receptor networks adapt. Pain and pleasure circuits are no longer balanced, they're altered. Tolerance develops rapidly, a protective defense. Your body needs more drug to achieve the same feelings. You choose: stop and endure withdrawal, or continue and take more. Most choose the latter, stepping onto a dangerous path. The cycle begins. Tolerance demands higher doses escalate dependency. Pleasure fades, avoidance of withdrawal drives behavior. Your goal shifts from seeking pleasure to simply feeling normal. When opioids aren't available, your body reacts violently. The nervous system becomes overactive, withdrawal begins, anxiety floods in, the calm is gone. Heart races, sweats, chills, tremors, pain erupts. You feel tortured by physical and mental anguish, vomiting, diarrhea, cramps. You can't sleep or sit still. It's a full-body assault. You didn't become addicted for heaven. You're desperate to avoid hell. And even the drug can't erase that hell anymore. This is addiction's cruel irony. So why not stay on heroin forever? Because the good effects fade faster than the bad ones accumulate. Soon, heroin doesn't make you feel good. It just stops things from hurting. True pleasure becomes unreachable. Real joy, connection, meaning, these are stolen. And entering this state is easy, but escaping, impossibly hard. Now enter fentanyl, the drug that took opioid tragedy to new extremes. It's roughly 50 times stronger than heroin, but it's not 50 times more euphoric. It's crueler. Fentanyl crosses the blood-brain barrier with terrifying speed, seconds. You jump from baseline to high instantly, but the peak fades almost as quickly as it arrives, minutes. Heroin's high lasts hours, fentanyl's barely half an hour, and its effect isn't a gentle warmth, it's a blunt blackout. Euphoric bliss? Rare. Mostly sedation and disconnection. You nod out, you lose awareness, then you wake, and you're hit with withdrawal all over again. The cycle speeds up, high, crash, seek more. Dependency skyrockets. Fentanyl doesn't just hijack your reward system, it obliterates it. Addiction becomes nearly instantaneous. Overdose risk? Exponentially higher. A tiny miscalculation. You're done. Between 2014 and 2024, about 450,000 Americans died of fentanyl overdose. It is the deadliest illicit drug in U.S. history. Each statistic represents a real person, a family destroyed. Yet many users never intended to consume fentanyl. Why is this drug catching so many off guard? Because drug dealers prefer fentanyl, cheap to make, easy to transport, massively profitable. A single truckload could supply the entire U.S. for a year. Heroin production requires plants, cultivation, transportation. It's bulky. Fentanyl can be synthesized in secret labs from common chemicals. It's compact and potent, ideal for black markets. Dealers increasingly cut heroin with fentanyl to boost potency, but that also makes dosing unpredictable and deadly. Studies show most opioid users actively avoid fentanyl. Yet overdose victims never knew it was there. Dealers mix fentanyl into all kinds of street drugs, pill form, powders, even cocaine. The drug landscape becomes a minefield. Every batch could kill. A single overdose can come from a tiny misstep. In 2023, fentanyl-laced pills, fake oxycodone, Xanax, caused almost 20% of fentanyl deaths. In 2024, U.S. authorities seized 115 million fake fentanyl pills. 70% contained lethal doses. Nearly half of fentanyl overdose victims consumed stimulants like cocaine or meth, often unaware of opioid presence. People were partying, not seeking opioids, and died. Especially dangerous. Opioid-naive individuals have no tolerance. Fast, lethal overdoses can happen with first-time use. Outside medical settings, fentanyl offers no benefit to users. It exists to serve dealers and networks profiting off addiction. For users, it means faster, deeper addiction, and harsher withdrawal. For anyone who never wanted it, it can be a death sentence. No matter how attractive it might appear, playing with opioids is dangerous even at best. Fentanyl amplifies that danger into dangerous extremes. It turns a spark into an inferno. It is merciless, seductive in its power, lethal in its unpredictability. The only wise conclusion: if you can choose, do not enter the supernova of pleasure. Avoid temptation, protect yourself and others, because what starts as bliss can end in the darkest pain imaginable. Let this be a warning and a plea. Steer clear of that path,